Good day, everyone. Welcome to God's Universal Wisdom. I am Apostle Lafayette Cabell, and I come to talk to you today about some things that God shared with me. A lot of things that puzzle mankind today. Um, a lot of questions we may have over the experiences we have experienced in life. Why don't people use people? And that was one of the questions that was posed to me. So I want to address that. Why do people use people? Well, there's nothing wrong with a person using a person. The problem is we're trying to use it for self gain. That's the wrong. When God created mankind, Adam and Eve, He brought them together to use each other for who they were and what they can bring to the table, not the expectations of the other parties. You know, like um, people use you, you use your job to make money. Your job use you to make money. Equal exchange. Well, a lot of times we break up in relationships because we're not realizing we're using people. We only can see that the people are using us. But there's no way that you're gonna connect your life to something not for you to get benefit from it. Don't believe that. Don't believe that lying mind. You say yes because you believe you can benefit from it. Whether it be, can I take you to the dinner? And you say yes. You said yes because you're going to benefit from it. But the other person said, well, they paying a bill, they're not benefiting. But how you know all they wanted is just to go out with you? So we use each other, but you got to use each other for the purpose of each other. You know, like don't use somebody because they have a lot of money. Don't do that. You know, when you get involved with somebody, don't lie to yourself first, and then you won't lie to them later. Meaning that because anything that's hidden gonna come to light, whether we like it or not. Till this day, I still don't like it, but I have accepted it. To such be life. All things done in secret is going to come to light. Believe me. So, with that being said, so God created mankind for Adam. It is, the problem is when we go to the religions, and I know you keep saying, Apostle, you always talk about the religion because they're poisoning us. They poisoning our people. You know what they trying to do as far as introduce you to God and give you a personal living relationship with God. That's beautiful, but don't forget that man is the one that's in front of you. So you use the man or the woman in front of you so that you could build a relationship with God. And once that has been established, then it's up to you to build your relationship with God from that time forth. Okay? But the stuff that goes along with it, the stuff you got to go through, the looking at you because you don't have on church clothes, the you don't look the part, you don't smell the part. See, that's all man. But if you come to hear the word of God, you should be able to come as you are, what you got on, how you smelling, and everything, and just get the truth and go on about your life. So I say, with these lies, they doing more damage than they doing help. Yes, they take you or start you off in the right direction, but then they be the ones that vary you off from your life. Like you can't watch TV, you can't go to the movies. Have anybody really ever heard God say that unless He said it to themselves? Unless God told the individual that? You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I don't want to get diving too deep into that because I don't want people to think that I'm against religion. No, I understand that my brothers and sisters are in that building. They're in them four walls. I was there too. There's nothing wrong with it. But what's wrong with it is that they don't teach you you're supposed to outgrow the building. You don't stay in one grade all your life. So the same thing goes with, because you're only going to learn but so much in the building, and then you're going to have to learn the rest with your relationship with God as you live. Believe nothing else. Man can only teach you but so much. But then you got to understand and learn God for yourself, and then you can understand God greater, and then you realize, wow, I do hear God. Wow, but people tell you in the building if they told you when you was first young and your first new convert, you say that you need to go to your pastor, when you need to hear something from God until you establish your relationship with God. That's the way it should be done. My pastor did me the same way, but within 1 year, he saw that I was hearing God, and he told me, don't come to him confessing no more of my sins. You're supposed to go to God. And I said, oh, I thought I was supposed to go to you, pastor. He says, yes. Until you learn how to have a relationship with God, you're a Holy Ghost filled son. You hear God. When you pray, you see God. There's no reason for you to come to me or another man again in the rest of your life. And that was some of the greatest teachings I ever got in my life. Because other than that, I would be stuck in four square walls feeling like I can't get to God unless I go in the building. I ain't gonna really feel the move of God unless I'm in a church or a religious setting. And that's not true. But I didn't want to come to talk to you about that, but it came out anyway, so God bless who needed it. I couldn't tell you that God, he got you, he has you. But what we don't understand that what we're seeking after with God is that initial contact. And we're not going to get that. We're going to get experiences with God. We're going to feel his love. He's going to show his love. We're going to have out-of-body experiences. We're going to have spiritual advancements, and you're going to grow and you're going to enjoy life. But the problem lies in us not living our lives in front of God. See, we're not living our lives in front of him. We're trying to impress man with our religions and our beliefs, and you don't have to prove yourself to no one. To no one. Just like the world today is puzzled how Mandela came out of jail years ago and forgave the guards and the prisoners and the guards that treated him wrong and sentenced him wrong, and came and forgave him. And it was like, he's an incredible man. How can he do that? Well, the reason you are puzzled is because he didn't say, I had an epiphany with God, though he did have an encounter with God. You cannot forgive like that. You don't believe me? Ask yourself, have you forgiven everybody? Or do you still hold stuff against people? Do you not want to forgive? Or are you not capable yet of forgiving that person? Your answer would be, I just need a little time. I'm working on it. God ain't finished working on me yet. See, all these excuses. And the problem is because you don't live your life in front of God. You live in your life personal. And God wants you to live your life personally. Meaning, if you enjoy your life in front of God, then you're sharing your life with God. And God is sharing your life with you. So therefore, it's no longer personal, but it's personally, because it's both of y'all involved in your lives. So now you won't have no problem forgiving anyone because God has more of your mind than you. God has more of your heart than you. God is in control of your emotions and you're not. So it's a learning process. It's always going to be one. But what we must not forget is that, what we must not forget is that God himself, all he asks of us is to be truthful and just keep your life in front of him. He knows we're going to make mistakes. He knows we're going to make changes. But the changes we're making are wrong for our lives. That's what offends God. They're not wrong all the time against God. Because when things is against God, God shows up and shows you that it was against him. But this stuff we've been doing all these years and thinking we've been getting away with it, you ain't getting away with it. That wall, that dead end street and that wall is waiting for you. And you're going to run into that. So I'm trying to reset your GPS system, if you please, to help you from keeping hitting walls this year, to help you to be more freer in your life. The bottom line is you have to get out of your own way. It's not your preacher. It's not your religion. It's not your mate. It's not your family. It's not your enemies, your foes. It's not even your well-wishers or the strangers. It's not mankind. It's you. It's you that's stopping you. You're in the way of you. You can't live because the fear you've convinced yourself to have. You can't live because you're afraid. You can't live because how I'm gonna live and I got these bills. You can't live because you won't allow you to live. There is no excuse. There is no excuse that, oh, they're not, the job's just not hiring. I put in applications all the time. Okay, good. But why are you giving that the power to say what you can and can't do? You could be happy. You just choose not to. Like today, this morning, I supposed to came before the people in the world and ministered, and I was going through so much, like just so much, my eye and my body, and I could have said, yeah, well, you being attacked. The devil's attacking you. Don't want to bring this word, and that might have been true, but see, when you don't listen to a lying mind, you put your life again before God, and then you examine it. And that's what I did. I went before God and I said, well, God, that's true. But you know what? If I wouldn't have never moved back to the East Coast, the devil couldn't use that tool to attack me. And that means the allergies and stuff. And here it is, midwinter, and I'm going through crazy allergies, pains in my eyes, can't see, allergies stop drying. Y'all know that those that experience it understand. It's very uncomfortable. Then I'm sitting in front of lights every time I come before you. So that wasn't going to work. I wanted you to get a clear picture. But the bottom line is, I supplied the adversary with that tool. Just because God said you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. God told me I could come back and move to the east. So I did. So, but see, even in that, people was blessed. Lives was changed because that's just what I do when I roll with my Lord and I. So that's going to be anyway. So you can't say I was sent back for a certain person. That person was just blessed because God knew I was coming back. So they set them up to be blessed. But, as a person, when you make decisions, people, this is what I mean by getting out of your way. When you make decisions, don't include the people you like. Now, I know you said, wow, that's contrary to all you ever taught. No, it's not. Let me finish explaining it. Because you don't need your friends, your mates, and all the rest of that stuff, the people that influence your life. You don't need them there when it's time for real decision for your life. You can consider them in the decisions you make, but don't let them have any authority in making a decision for you. For an example, say I'm in love, and my wife or the woman I want to marry, she lives on the East Coast, and she don't want to move. So should I stay for something I want, or should I move back west, Midwest, in the desert, where it's better for me and my life and my health? But we're so selfish, or we're so much in the way, that's when we want to put them first. I'm sorry, people. There was no first and second when it came to God. We said man was made first, but they both was created at the same time in spirit, though. So, we do the first, second, third. Now, I'm telling you today that when you make a decision, make it for your life. Don't make it for somebody else. Because no matter where you go and what you get involved in, anything you put and hook yourself up to, you like. So in the end, if it change on you, if it become brand new and it's tripping on you, you know what I mean, relationships, jobs, whatever that you call God's doings, and then it change on you and it's agitating your spirit and your mind and your life, what then? Now you say they're the devil, they change. No. You're looking in the mirror and you're still seeing you. Because any decision you make, any choice you choose, is to your likings. That means it's a product of yourself. You like the greatest lie that ever lived around you or in your life. And that is you and what you believe in. Your mind. You are where you are because of your mind. No one put a gun to your head and made you put that weight on. No one put a gun to your head It made you get swallowed up in all them bills. Well, I was dealt this situation and I'm in this situation now. So you telling me before you got in this situation you didn't have? Or you just not wanting to look back and say, I had more before I got into this thing. It could be more peace. You know what I mean? It could be more rest. It could be more monetary gifts. But have you noticed you have more when it's just you? Oh, okay. I wish somebody would have taught me that. I wish somebody would have taught me that. See, there's pros and cons as man in everything. There's pros and cons in being married. There's pros and cons in being single. You know what the true answer is? There is no satisfying you. There's just no satisfaction. If God gave you everything you want right now, every desire of a healing of the people, raising of the dead folk that's gone, that you want back, that you can't let go, giving you the power to forgive, paying back the people that did you wrong, and giving you all this lucrative stuff and all this tangible, monetary, physical, houses, cars, jobs, mates, kids, the American dream, you still wouldn't be satisfied. Because you know how I know? Because you're going to still want something else after a while. So when you come to the truth about yourself and realize there's no satisfying you, then you won't put the expectations on someone you love or you say you love and expect them to satisfy you. This is why you keep jumping from relationship to relationship. This is why you keep going from job to job. Because there's no satisfying you. And when you accept that there's no satisfying your nature, you'll become satisfied with life. How do I know? I lived it. He showed me God. Life itself taught me, held my hand, walked me through it. So, I say today, in every setback, there's an opportunity or chance to come back. You want to look at it that way? How about looking at it that way? If you felt that you down to your lowest, then look, get excited because the only thing left is to do is to rise. You lay down to get up, people. So when you get knocked down to get back up. It's just an opportunity. So I don't ask people to pray for me. You know what I mean? I wanted this pain. I know that sounds crazy, right? No, I wanted this pain. Not because I like pain. I wanted to suffer through this whole pain and duration of what I was going through. So when tomorrow, when the relief come off my eye and I can see much clearer and it's no longer hurting next week, I wanted this pain to engrave itself in my memory. So when the pain go away, I can remember, son, you still don't even supposed to be here because you're giving tools to the devil to use against you. Now, you may not see it that way. And I don't expect you to. Because even right now, you're lying to you. You don't want to move because you're scared. Tell the truth. But let something you want call you. And look how fast you go. Let it be something you want to do. You'll make a way. Not find a way. You will make a way. If you have to dig 300 yards underground. And we have done it. You will rob Peter to pay Paul. You will borrow, fight, fuss, lie, and cheat, and even steal to get what you want. And don't say you won't. You have done one of them things. And if you didn't, if you tell yourself right now you didn't, then you just did one, and that was a lie. It's about coming into agreement with life, being satisfied with your life, with yourself. When you need somebody else to be satisfied with you and your life, then you're not there yet. Nah, a job shouldn't make you satisfied. That's a temporary fix. That's a temporary prescription for the real prescription and dosage you usually use. It's just a quick fix until the pharmacy opens. That's what aspirin is. That's what Advil is. That's what Tylenol does. It's a quick fix until you get your fix. Understanding all this hunger is really trying to seek God, but you thinking it's trying to seek these things that man is seeking because that's what man is seeking. Do I need to repeat that? Understand what's going on. You're in your own way. Get out of your own way. Nothing is blocking you but you, and you know that. You know if you make your mind up today to enjoy the rest of your life, you know that you're capable of doing that. What? Capable of doing what? Making that decision and completing it from conception to completion. You know how strong you are. You know you got a strong will and you're headstrong, they say in the world. You be great. If you go wrong, you're gonna be great in that. And if you go good or right, you'll be right in that. But just a little nugget, being that we talking about right and wrong. If man is calling us right, just know that is wrong. Just know that is wrong. If man's calling it right, just know that is wrong. Little nugget. Don't tell him I told you. Because whether you tell him or not, life gonna show you in them. That's why our ways are so far from God. Now I told you get out your way. Now I showed you what's the problem. None of that you pointed fingers at. It's the person in the mirror. Now that you understand that, and now that we have the answers, let me tell you how you go about it. None of your goals, none of your dreams, none of the visions that you can ever vision should be in the grass of your arm reach. Meaning all your goals should be where you can't reach them, or they're not goals. Make your goals further than you, so you need the arm of God to help you get it. You know what I mean? So make sure your goals is out your own reach, so it'll be a challenge to life. Life, you're not living until you challenge yourself. You're not living until you challenge life. And that's to the contrary of popular belief. God did not intend us to stay in a hut and not go see what he put here. Like you, like me, like meet other people that lives totally different from us, but yet human beings. Yet they only are 10,000 miles or 3,000 miles across the country. And you go and meet and see how they live and look at their culture and say, wow, and learn something from it. Then you'll understand and realize, yo, I'm great just who I am. I don't have to be what I was trying to become back where I was. I could just be me, and that is special. That is a flower in amongst itself. That is an aroma that only I can give off to the nostrils of God. That is the beauty, the help, and the setback to mankind that only I can bring. So you don't have to be like somebody. If you perfect being you, you'll turn down everything you ever wanted because you realize you don't need it. All I needed this time was my Lord and I. All this time, I've been chasing money. I've been chasing marriages. I've been chasing relationships. And I'm not knocking them. I'm just telling you, when you live and you're free from this stuff, you can really see the purpose of why you came to this earth and not why someone in the spirit told you. Now I know you said I'm marked because it needs to be marked. And I tell all these people that was raised under Apostle Cabell or Pastor Cabell, Bishop Cabell, all the way to Apostle Cabell. I don't, listen, you are a child learning how to use that gift when you got to come and speak in tongues with me between, before, and after what you got to tell me what God said. Hold up, listen. Speak in tongues, get it all out, or tell me what God said, then go into tongues. But God is not confusing. When he speaks to me, he doesn't say, son, I want you, you gotta, you know what I'm talking about. Really? Really? And you stand there and cry. This is how messed up our people are in the building. Our brothers and sisters. They stand there and cry like God spoke something to them. He's not even in that. You touched your own heart. God speaks clear, direct, and on target. When he speaks, there is no guessing. Only time we can't figure out what God says is when we try to figure it out. It's self-explanatory every time. He's not going to talk to you about planting and reaping as a farmer, and here you are as a tax collector. He doesn't do that. That's man. He comes straight at you. I was thinking God crying the other day, hoping my daughter didn't come in the room and catch me because I didn't want to stop. Because I was thinking about it. I went back to the day God came to me. I wasn't the only drug dealer on that block. I wasn't the only person on that block. I wasn't the only person high. Other people were sober. You know what I mean? Yo, but he came to me. Understand, this was a VIP, like RSVP invite. This was a special invite only for me. Only the name on the invite could come. That was mine. And that's what God wants you to understand today. That it's really that special with you and him. You don't have to be the person you following. You don't have to follow them all your life. It is great until you start building the relationship with God. Then trust that and go for broke and live. Let God show you. You don't make these people your God, calling it obedience. That's not obedient. When people put pressure on you, wait, time out. You didn't put no pressure on me when I came in. You ain't gonna put no pressure on me to stay. I came in freely, then I can freely leave. But when they get upset, it's no longer personally, it is now personal. Why? Because you're a tithe and offering giver. Why? Because you're making the number they have less. Why? Because what? Why? Because why? Why is there pressure to serve God? A God of honesty, that a divine, divinity, the loving and caring, the big, tall, gentle giant, the God of judgment and wrath. Why is it pressure? Did he pressure you to come? The pressures of life brought you to God. So why is he going to pressure you, people? You hold a position that's like on your job or in a ministry or anything. How are they going to get mad because you called out? That's what men do. But it's okay if they got to call out. Oh, everything is understandable. As the corporate world says, hunky-dory. Everything hunky-dory. Yeah, it is hunky-dory because now I got to do my work and your work. And then y'all let these people give these people power to call you at home when you called off and ask you questions about a foul. You don't live like you have the truth. The people in the four square walls, our brothers and sisters in these religions and these denominations, people, they are the most fearful people in the world. They scared to death with the greatest power that ever existed. That's the same thing as beating our people in slavery, brainwashing them and convincing them, and then freeing them knowing that they ain't gonna leave. But telling them, oh no, you free, you can leave. And then soon you think about it, they say the devil talking to you. He's trying to pull you out your calling. Isn't that something? Well, if you're watching this, feel blessed because some is better than none. And more is better than some. So understand, here God's universal wisdom, he talks to you about your life. Without the spooky stuff. Without the mysteries. The mysteries. And listen, people, understand, man, let me talk to you for a minute. I'm gonna find my notes. It's one thing for sure. I found out too, y'all, just for while I'm looking for what I found out. I found out too, everything man discovers destroys man. Remember I told you that. Everything man discovers destroys man because everything man discovers is a lie because they believe they discovered it. You can't discover something that somebody always had. You can't, you stop it now. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. All right. I spoke to you briefly. I'm going to go. I spoke to you briefly about last week, just throwing it out there at you. You cannot rely on an unreliable source. Meaning you can't trust your thinking. You can't trust your feelings. And you definitely can't trust the thing across from you that look like you. So, who do we trust? But don't trust you for you. That's all I'm telling you. Trust God for you. And trust the people that God sent to tell you what God said. Don't trust the people that's rubbing you and tell you it's going to be all right and you know you're wrong. Do not trust that. Okay? They just as deceived as you. Matter of fact, even you know better than that. So remember, in every setback, there's a comeback. You know what I mean? So God created man to be used. Understand that. In case you didn't understand that earlier, God created us to use each other. God created man in the beginning. Man, male and female, Adam and Eve. He created them to fulfill his plan. Not to use each other for one's self-gain. And that's what's going on today. We're using each other for self-gain instead of enjoying each other for why we are here, who you are. You being different is actually beautiful to God. And that's how we need to see it. Just because you are educated in an area in life and somebody isn't in that area in their life, doesn't make you better than them. It doesn't. It may make you wiser, but it doesn't make you better. And why is there competition anyway? Why do women judge women by the clothes they wear and how they wear it? You sit there and look at a woman's tail like you're a male and gonna tell me, and I ask you, gonna tell me, I was just seeing how she wearing her jeans. I was checking out her jeans. So why that don't fly if I'm looking at her and you ask me? Why is it wrong if I look at her? No. I'm just trying to be honest with you. And the only way you're going to get the truth is through honesty. Not an act, not a form, not a yelling, not a crying, none of that. It's just being honest. And the most honest thing you know in your life about something is you. Because you know you. You know you. Yes, you do. So I say this to you. Life shouldn't be taken personal, but it should be lived personally. Meaning your life should be lived in front of God and shared with God. And that's how God intended. That mankind would live in front of him, live their lives in front of him, but enjoy everything he put here for him. And that's each other as well as the provision, the food, all that. Okay? Secondly, you must understand that you have prevailed or traveled or advanced, but you ain't moved nowhere. Because when you look at it, here it is. You. If I ask you, are you smarter? Are you wiser than 5 years ago? What you gonna tell me? Yes. Okay. And say I believe you. So, I have just one more A and B question. Did you go through 5 years ago what you going through now? B question is, then why if you wiser and smarter and advanced? Think about that question. Get back with me at Apostle, Ellen Cabell at yahoo.com. Talk to me. Because there's nothing in your life that you was doing 5 years ago that you're doing today. I want you to answer it so I can tell you the real answer. Because the real answer is Yes, you are. You're still lying to yourself if you ain't doing nothing else. You still believe in what you want to believe. And that's not belief. That's, to me, it's called hypnosis. You've been putting your life and yourself in a trance all these years. And God just coming by now, smacking you and waking you up out of it. That's all. Don't be mad at life. Don't be mad at nobody. Just get out your own way. Get it. You don't even know what you want because you can't even see because you're in the way. My wants. This is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Hey, just do it. And just make sure you're doing it in front of God. Make sure you always know that God is present. So no matter where you go, God is going to be there. I mean, even if you right and God help us when we wrong. But he's going to be there. And when you wrong, he's going to come with more of him. He's going to come with more of heaven. Did you not know the worse you are, the more grace there is of God? So this word is for everybody. You know, God's universal wisdom. You don't need a religion to follow Apostle Lafayette Cabral. You ain't going to be forced to give no monies. All his reward is that your life be blessed, changed the correct way. That's it. Just call me a doctor with no fees, if you please. And I love what I do. Believe me, I love what I do. So, anything worth living is worth doing again. Did you hear that? Anything worth living is worth doing again. Now you said, nah, I don't want to relive what I've been through. But if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be who you are today. So how was that bad for you? It may have felt bad to you. And God knows I got a lot of them experiences in my life. But I realized, because I don't listen to this lying mind of mine, I realized that, thank you, God, because I needed that. That made me the man I am today. That made me become more honest with my own life. That let me know that everything I do in secret is going to come to light. That let me know that, treating people wrong is not acceptable to God. See, I didn't need a Bible or a building nor a religion. Life will show you God. Life will teach you. Pay attention to what's going on in your own life. Stop looking at the neighbors or the family member across the hall from you, or the one in the same bedroom with you. Look at you. Look at what's transpiring in your life and make decisions according to that. Am I satisfied? Do I want this? And when you become this great life living individual that God has gave permission to come and appear here on earth at this time, you're going to offend some people. Just know it. You're going to get them folk mad. Why you leaving? You ain't right. You brainwashed. You change. You flip. Why you change your mind? Because this is not what I really want. And there's nothing wrong with you walking away. They call that a coward. I call that a hero. Because when you make a decision because it's what you want to do, right, wrong, or indifferent, then you doing what you want to do. A coward is the one that will let the next person keep believing they happy when they're not. That's a coward that won't stand up for the truth, even if it's the truth about you. You're a coward. Take your life back. It's yours. It don't belong to your mamas. It don't belong to nobody. It's your life. Your parents had the responsibility and the privilege to raise you, but your life is still not their life. And while we on that, let me tell your women something. Stop treating these young boys, that's your son, like they your man, and you won't let them leave or move or go nowhere and convincing them to stay around in the same town. And stop doing that stuff. Stop riding them. They now adults and you let them live their life. I don't care if they are going back and forth in jail. They got to make that decision to stop living that life. You holding on to them, don't want them to move out the house. That's ridiculous, people. And I got a family like that. That's ridiculous. You would think you was dating that child. Easy with that. You're destroying our men. You're destroying the men. The men, let them go. Let them go be men. Let them learn like men. These boys is coming up softening these girls because these mamas won't let them out their arms. You're not covering no more, mama. You're smothering. Let's do it right. Because I tell you what, grew up in the generation I came up in, mama, aunt, it don't matter. Miss Mary across the street, grandma, big mama, it don't matter. You did something, somebody went upside your head or you went to jail, they ask you straight out, did you learn your lesson? Because that's their fault, not their parents' fault. They hurt. But hey, man, stop putting yourself on that, parents. You're not still held for children you raised. Nah, you're not still held accountable for that. You got grown parents trying to go back and make up time with grown kids. It's impossible. Stop it. Leave them kids alone. Let them live their life. Pray and hope the best for them. Just get mad because somebody ain't call you. It's obvious they're not thinking about you. You don't want to accept that. I'm serious. I call my son, he in college. You know, they start college. I call my son, he in college. We talking every day up to college. Ain't that something? First day, he got me walking around the phone. I'm meeting the teachers and everything. 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, from that point on, I ain't heard from him in 90 days, 3 months. And I said, man, what is it with you? You can't call no more? And just his answer was, Dad, I'm sorry. I was just, I'm in school. And that was really a wake-up call for me, like, yo, kid, fall back. Your job now is to be there to help him in decisions he make only when he calls on you. And leave that kid life alone now. I know that hurts to some parents, but you're wrong. If they're grown, and especially if they're out on their own, stay out their lives. And don't let them bring you in theirs. Oh, really? Because they are a product of you, and you do not always tell the whole truth. So don't expect them to tell the whole truth, people. Don't forget when you was 19, 20, 25, 30. Don't forget that. You lied more than you told the truth. And you believed it was the truth. Because that was your thinking. Give these chance to live. Give these kids a chance to live so that life can teach them, which you can never ever show them in a lifetime. Okay? I know it was a buffet of things today, and I can't find what I wanted to talk, end up with, but I guess this is it. Somebody with kids need to know this. If you was like me, and you still that same way, then it's just a smack in your face by life telling you, wake up, come out of it. That's wrong. You're here to live. Live your life and only your life. And people, you will let your kids, your mates, your family members, your friends, your job, whatever, whoever you give that power to run your life in the ground and run it raggedy as if it's their life. Nuh-uh. You're not responsible after a certain time and age and in life. You're just responsible for your life. Just understand that, man. Just understand it. You're responsible for your life. You have to give an account for your life. When your child stand before God, guess what? Guess what? You're not going to be present, mama. You're not going to be present, daddy. You ain't going to be able to send a text, email, or tweet on Instagram an excuse for them like you do now. Stop running to people's protection when they're grown. Let them live it. I know it sounds harsh. Okay, do God run to your protection every time you're wrong? Or do he let you experience it and then come? Okay then. So don't act like I'm asking you something that God ain't doing. Let's parent right. Let's love right. Let's live right. Live your life in front of God, meaning share your life with God every day, all day. And you wouldn't need an individual. You wouldn't need a noun. You wouldn't need a person, a place, or a thing to make you appreciate Just waking up. Not before you even see the flowers. Before you even see what you chose in your life. Just waking up. Your mind's first thought would be, wow, he allowed me to see another day. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you. That could be the day you're going to leave here. But still thank him because he allowed you to come into it. Be grateful today. Take care of yourself because you got to give account for yourself. And ain't nobody can love you like you. You just got to learn how to love you right. Nobody ain't going to do for you like you will and you can. So that's how you say, well, I never had a parent. I never had a father in my life. I never have a son in my life. That has nothing to do with your record before God. God knew that when you came here. You still held accountable for the time God left you with. What are you doing with your life? Running around chasing wants, weighing your time out, and then you got your last 5 minutes here on earth. You got more regrets than you have smiles. I wish I would have. I should have did it this way. I mean, having life taught you that? Having your kids taught you that? Having them mates you've been with, all them women and guys you've been with? Having that taught you that, you know what? This is not satisfying to me. But I'm so afraid to live, I gotta have somebody in my life. You are afraid. You are afraid. No, I want to move. I'm going to move. No, I'm going to do this. Why you haven't done it? Because you're afraid. You're afraid. And when you accept that, then you can defeat that. Oh, I need this, I need that. No, you don't. All you need to do is make up your mind and you'll do it. You'll do it. See, you don't even need to pray. Oh my God, the apostle said you don't need to pray. Yeah, stop bringing stuff to God that's in your care, please. When you can't deal with it, when you can't handle it, when it's too much for you, you ain't even got to ask him. He'll come in. You ain't got to call on him. Just tell him thank you when you go before him. Don't tell him help you. Tell him thank you. And he will help you. Like he did the one out of the 10 that came back and said thank you. See, he going to immediately help you. Or as Joe Clark would say, immediately, expeditiously. Come on, people, stop playing with your life. Stop playing with your mind. Stop playing. You're in your own way. You know ain't nobody can stop you. You strong. You powerful. You have enough wisdom to maneuver through this life and never have ever a depressing experience ever again, even if your mama died. Even if your loved one leave you, who you love like no other. You'll look at them and say, time is up. And my heart is aching. But he or she was for me. Instead of saying he or she ain't sugar, honey, iced tea. He ain't no good, she ain't no good. Stop that. That's saying you ain't no good. You picked it. You agreed with it. Now you can't stand it. That means you can't stand you. You can't stand the decisions you made. Let's call it for what it is. And then you gotta really come to the conclusion and say, well, God did not give that man to me. Did not give that woman to me. So I think I need to go back in front of the people that I lied to and said, God gave me my mate. God ain't give you nothing. Because the things God want to give you and he have for you, you pushing away, you're neglecting and rejecting. You are surrounded, your life is surrounded by your wants. Understand that. God trying to give you a peace of mind. Do you have one? Or why not? God is trying to heal you spiritually, physically, financially, emotionally. Do you have it yet? Well, why not? Because you don't want it yet. It's your choice. I know that was kind of rough and tough, but keep looking at this, you'll get it. You know what I mean? I'm not here ever to offend you or hurt you, though I know it's going to happen. And that's all on you, but you blame me, but that's okay. I have broad shoulders. It's all good. You can place that on me. because it won't stay. It's like water on a duck's back because I know it ain't me. I know it's you. I sat where you sit right now. I laid down and on that sweaty pillow, or that damp sheet or pillow because I cried that night. I know it's that like. I felt like everybody left me. I know it's that like. I know it seems like everything I'm doing is just not working. I know it's that like. But it all comes to the crossroads or the dead end, if you please, of no way out. You gotta understand. You gotta get away from you. You gotta get away from your wants. They harming you. God gonna give you what you need, and it's gonna be wind up what you want. It's just that you don't know what you want. This is why you keep choosing things. You choose this. You choose that. Always God. Oh, I know. You tell yourself, and you lie to yourself. I promise. I'm done. You lie to yourself that, oh no, I do need a new car because this one is old. But is it doing? Is it still serving its purpose? So stop lying to yourself. Just say you got tired of what you picked and you want something new. And this is how life goes down here on earth with mankind. You get tired of me, and the problem is you try to replace me. That's not shit. That shouldn't be it. You should get tired. If you get tired of what you're getting tired of, don't try to replace it. Just go get something else to do because you're going to do it anyway. And just give that new thing the time you was giving the old thing because you don't want to be with that anyway. But you don't want to lose it because you're going to want it later. See, that's you. That's you. When you think about that, that's you. And again, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow. But hey, I tell you, it's a blessing in taking it down. Because if you take that prescription down, meaning take it in your life and digest it, it'll heal your life. That's not only good to you, that's good for you. So things that are really good for you, 9.9999 times out of 10, you ain't gonna like it. It's something that you wouldn't choose. Believe me, people. Believe me. Apostle Lafayette Cabell Head, Universal Wisdom. God bless you. I know this word has, if it ain't did nothing else, I hope it upset you. That means you took it in. You know what I mean? I love you today. You gotta understand that. But don't believe man, because I'll change too. But God will never change. So don't you ever stop wanting God and needing God. And don't you ever stop loving God. You need God to love on you. Put your life back in front of God. I'm talking no matter what you're doing. Put it in front of him because he know anyway. Just leave it there. God, share with me. Walk with me. Walk with me. Talk to me, God. Vibe with me, God. Feel me, God. And I guarantee you, anything you do, he's going to bless it. And anything you need, you ain't going to have to ask for it. Your need's going to be met before you know it was a need. Believe me, that's how God get down. That's just God. That's the God of all mankind, the God of the universe, the divine, the qualified, the certified, and justified. True divine divinity. That be God. One love from Apostle Lafayette Cabell and God Universal Wisdom.